the time. So I was there, unable to move, thinking, like, what's going on? And it took, a good sort of 3 months of investigations down the traditional medical route, just to get a bit of an understanding of what was happening. So I saw, people for neurology, cardiology, blood, hormones.
Welcome back to the Andy Ramage podcast. Today's conversation is one of my all-time favourites. Firstly, because Mike Mudie's story is incredible. And secondly, because my story is now part of Mike's story. 7 years ago, I set my goals out and I put them on the wall, most of which have now come true. This one, plant 10 million trees, was my uneducated attempt at trying to do something for climate change. I put it in the recesses of my mind, and then Mike approached me about a year ago with an idea for a drink, because Mike had to heal himself from complete burnout to the point that it shut down his whole body holistically, and in doing so became a pioneer of functional wellness. And we've created a drink called Authentic Brew. And the reason I got involved is because Mike approached me and said, not only do I want to create this wellness in a can that no one else is doing and be a pioneer of functional health because it's so needed in our current world, I also want to make sure that this is a business that does a hell of a lot of good in the world. And 25% of all net profits going to go to rewilding people and places. And for me, that was a light bulb moment. It was, there is my opportunity to be involved in a business that does good in the world, that creates something incredibly valuable, that also has that ability to do so much good, and maybe invest in initiatives and ideas and concepts that help plant those 10 million trees or equivalent. For me, this is one of the most important conversations I've ever had. I'm so excited about Authentic Brew. And if you are interested to come and join the Authentic Brew Crew and be a part of something that fundamentally changes the world, that produces that little cuddle with Mother Nature for you and your family every single day, your daily dose of health and wellness in a can, listening to this little adventure of ours, this conversation today, and go to authenticbrew.com to find out more and start your subscription. All right, let's get into today's conversation. Michael, welcome back. Round 2.
Is it round 2?
It is. We sort of had a little warm up before.
We did have a warm up.
So let's do round 2 in the show. I'm thrilled to be having this conversation with you. Whilst we've had this conversation, you and I, many times before, it'd be nice to be able to share it with all those people listening.
Absolutely.
So I think you've got a brilliant story. Our relationship has blossomed over the last several months, years, pretty much.
Yeah, since 2020, really.
Since 2020, yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? And now we're on this adventure together that we're going to get into a bit later on. But before we do, let's get right into the sort of eye of the storm. I started working with you in a coaching capacity. So I was coaching you through almost the pinnacle of your business career. What you've dreamt about all those years was a successful exit from a company that you'd been involved in, you'd helped grow, that was really financially going to set you up in many ways for the rest of your life. Yeah. And I was coaching you through that period. You were on and off with alcohol, so we started to build our relationship then. And then you finally sort of make it as such, right? You almost like cross the finish line. And then what happens? Tell me.
It's a good, it's a good intro. Well, I think for me, once we crossed the finish line, it was home that evening, having a bit of a celebration, and then the next morning I couldn't get out of bed.
And describe that exactly. You like physically could not move.
Physically could not move. It was almost like being paralysed. But I could sort of move my body, but I had no power to lift my arm. I couldn't put one foot in front of the other. I couldn't look at any lights. It was just it's sort of unable to do anything. Couldn't pick up a fork to feed myself. It was a really scary time. I thought that was the end for me.
Really?
Yeah.
So here you go from that pinnacle, what you'd worked for from a tiny boy.
Yeah, from 11 years old.
Tell us that, like that was your sort of dream, and it was get your head down, grind it out, as so many of us do.
Yeah.
And then it reached such a place of burnout. It's amazing how our body does that, doesn't it? It gives you the adrenaline to get to the point that you needed to, which was to cross the finish line and sort of seal the deal. and then it's just whoop,
Yeah.
you're out.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was burnout at the time. So I was there, unable to move, thinking, like, what's going on? And it took, a good sort of 3 months of investigations down the traditional medical route just to get a bit of an understanding of what was happening. So I saw, people for neurology, cardiology, blood, hormones, body parts, like specialists in their field, and everything looked okay. And weirdly, it was like better than okay. Like all my markers and heart rate and blood pressure and sugar levels, and my brain was good. Everything was in good nick. And then I was just prescribed sleeping tablets because I couldn't sleep, painkillers because I had like really painful symptoms, and antidepressants because they thought I was depressed. So, which is interesting because I'm like, I've always been sort of labelled as
exactly, it's the opposite.
Yeah, the opposite. So, those went in the bin, all those meds, and I just knew that they weren't for me. Something inside was saying, this isn't the route. And at the time, I was a bit lost in like, where do I go from here? So, being bedbound, you've got a little bit of time on your hands, and I'd finished my corporate duties for 12 months anyway. It was like a 12-month non-compete, so I couldn't go and do anything else after that exit. It was very much this road through traditional medicine is not for me. So let's go the holistic route, and got introduced to some amazing people, found some amazing people sort of off our own back and through network. And they came to see me at the house in my bed, and a whole new world opened up for me. And I remember this, I won't mention her name, but a specialist in Chinese medicine effectively drew a picture of my body and showed where I was on fire, and it was to do with my adrenal system, and it was literally on fire. So my subconscious and central nervous system tuned down my motor skills, so I had no option than just to be and rest, which I just thought was absolutely fascinating.
I just want to stay with that for a second, because that is it's fascinating for me.
Yeah.
That your adrenal and your subconscious can almost get together and say, you're at such a point, if we don't switch off your motor skills, I stop you from moving, something really, really nasty is going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's that protection system, which baffles traditional
Amazing.
science, right? Because they couldn't figure that thing out at all. But you can't even lift a fork. I mean, isn't that incredible? It's just mind-blowing, the power of your central nervous system and its ability to impact your physical body in that way.
Incredible. Yeah. It floored me, and it sent me on this journey of, self-discovery. It sort of opened Pandora's box a little bit to, what's this all about? Because I'd been, blinkered since I decided that you needed to go and work to earn a living from 11 years old. That was just my...
And why was that? There was something in there that...
Yeah. At 11, at school, I was the only boy in my class who couldn't go on the school trip to France. It was a summer holiday, and it was a week. Just couldn't afford it. So I had to go into school and spent a week with our janitor.
On your own?
Who looked after me.
Oh, that's tough.
It was tough. But now I tell people, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it gave me that drive from an early age, and actually sparked me going to get a paper round like a few days later. And that paper round sent me on my journey of building network, building community, appreciating the world around you, taking nothing for granted, and sort of sparked a bit of a work ethic to say, if you want something, go and get it.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you. You've got this ability or energy, I think, to bring people together. We sort of joke about it. We call it the mycelium network of connections that keep happening.
Yeah.
Every time I meet you, every time you meet me, we're connected to different people, and it's all building momentum. We'll get to that a bit later. But in your story as well, which is really interesting, and it's sort of, I think it is a good indicator of what is to follow, that you become really good at golf, and you actually became a professional golfer.
Yeah.
So tell us that story and how you had to keep your card effectively.
Yeah. It's an interesting one because that came through the paper round. So when I'm delivering papers, you get to know people. Every Christmas I was writing them a card, and you get to know the sort of the characters and the people on your round. And then I noticed a set of golf clubs in one of the houses, and then you start talking about that and having a few swings. And then the chap said, "Oh, I'm a member at the local golf club." So I said, "Oh, I'd love to come up." So I went around, had a sort of caddied for him and hit a few shots, and I was hooked. So got quite good fairly quickly. Sort of won the county championships, sort of representing sort of national teams, and then turned pro. And played on some of the mini tours. Went to South Africa to play on the Sunshine Tour. And it was amazing. But you needed about 90,000 a year to play, and I wasn't from a background who could fund that. So it was, again, going out to the big wide world through network and raising those funds. Some of them came through the local golf club, but about 80% of it came through knocking on doors, writing to businesses, going to trade shows. Put signs over myself to say,
"Did you?
I'm turning pro. Come and sponsor
Genius.
me." It was really the door knocking. That was the one, because I used to go to the golf events, a week before they were happening. Not quite a week, maybe like 3 or 4 days before it was happening. Speak to the secretary of the golf club. I'm playing in your tournament, and he gave me a few friendly names that I could go and speak to. So I used to, just turn up, knock on the door, say I'm here for this tournament at your local club. Is there a chance you could, put me up? And then, 9 times out of 10, they'd put me up, have breakfast, come out and caddy. And you're just, meeting all these amazing people. And then the sponsorship conversation happens. And, it was like 80% of the time that people would be interested to sponsor me and sort of back me on my journey.
It's incredible, isn't it? So you self-funded your professional card as a golfer. So I guess you get to that point, it's not quite going to be a big career for you, and then you switch it up basically. But again, it's that same drive, that same skill set that allowed you to achieve something that no one had ever achieved before. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying at Accenture.
In the workspace,
yeah.
So coming out of golf, I was like, I'm never going to achieve what I want to achieve. I remember I was the 11-year-old with big high hopes financially, and it wasn't going to come from golf. So I thought, how are we going to get out of this? And what I found is the raising sponsorship and giving the sponsorships a great experience, or the sponsors a great experience, was something that I loved. I got into IT, and it was exactly the same. Well, it paid well.
Yes,
like in terms of commissions. Didn't know anything about IT, but it's the same principle. It's make sure that there's a mutually fulfilling partnership. If both parties are getting fulfillment, you're on to a winner. So I just did that with IT. Started from the bottom, worked my way up.
And wasn't you one of the only, or one of the first employees they actually brought into Accenture without any formal education, effectively, or degrees, or whatever it might have been?
So it was an Accenture and Microsoft owned company called Avanade, and they're a big sort of global services delivery arm of Accenture and Microsoft. And I was one of the first through the door without a university degree. I remember it was a bit of a process, but that was like the holy grail of where an IT salesperson wanted to be. Pulled out all the stops to try and get in. I had a few quite important people write a few letters on my behalf, who had worked with me and vouched for me, and a few really supportive people within Avanade who supported me as well. And I got in, and did well. They ended up doing, at the time, it was their biggest deal in their history as a company, for bigger online gambling sort of conglomerate, who were buying an even bigger conglomerate in the US for about 12.5 billion. Is a big merger. So they wanted an IT provider to do a load of due diligence about the companies in play, and then how do we integrate them from an IT perspective, so it's like one joined up seamless entity. Yeah, and I got wind of it through my network and sort of backed myself to go and win that deal, and I did.
And this is that running theme, isn't it, of network, and in your mind that determination to succeed, which is financially to sort of solve those problems that you experienced as this little kid, that just gives you this drive. And then on that adventure, and this is what I think is interesting as well though, is before that burnout, you obviously were starting to think differently and reflect differently, and that's why effectively you got in touch with me as well to work with you, and you'd been taking a break, I think, from alcohol around that time. So I guess your mind, or whether it was that subconscious part of you saying something's got to change and you couldn't quite articulate it at the time, I think that's quite interesting. I wonder, was some of the signs there without you realising they were there, if you know what I mean?
Well, definitely, because that it actually coincided with a few things. Winning that deal that I've just mentioned, because that took around 12 months from start to finish. But it was in 2020 when my wife got pregnant, and we had some troubles with babies. We lost a few babies early, and then we had sort of a stillbirth at 21 weeks. The baby didn't have a heartbeat at 21 weeks, so you've got to go through the whole labour process, and that was a tough time. But post that, when we got pregnant again and it looked like it was sticking, I said to Posey, my wife, that if for this period I'm not going to drink any alcohol, because she couldn't. And that was in 2020, and I reached out to you to say I want to take a break, and did the break, with your help, won that massive deal, and my little one was born. Yeah. So, but it's just the thing that I noticed was just the balance, the sharpness, the sort of the harmony, it's just like a superpower when the alcohol wasn't involved, and then you build that into winning this deal, and the little one was actually born, and I was like, wow, this is the life. However, Christmas, New Year appeared, and sort of, I'll get back and have a few, and then you slip back into that routine, and it didn't really impact. I didn't think it sort of impacted performance sort of at the time.
Yeah, you were performing at a really elite level, even when we were working together. It was very much about the new role and the exit, and it's pretty high flying sort of professional career that you had at this time.
Yeah.
And I guess that traditional drive to succeed was there, but it clearly was having this massive impact on your body that I guess you were unaware of until.
Yeah, I would say it was all right because I made a big bold move actually to leave that world behind of big corporate, where I was doing really well, and I was on some interesting programs to executive leadership, and I had an opportunity to go and be a part of something a bit smaller with some ex-work colleagues to actually do a buy and build. So we buy an organisation that's been around for a while and leverage all the great stuff they're doing, but add on some of our nuance and experience and take that to a level where it was ready for exit. So we did that, and then I stayed on with the buyer and did another 2 years, and it was at that point that you were sort of coaching me through that process, and I knew I was going to come to a bit of a crossroads. I knew I had to take a bit of time out, but I didn't foresee what was on the cards.
Yeah, and it's been incredible, isn't it, that life throws us these massive curveballs that we didn't see coming, and sometimes it needs to almost give us a bit of a slap to wake us up to something completely different that neither of us could have foreseen at that point. But there you are, you achieved the finish line, as we've already described, and you can't physically move. Then you're in this whole new world, right? This whole new world of trying to heal yourself effectively, holistically, because modern medicine can't quite understand what on earth has just happened to you. And as you described, someone walks into your life, a Chinese medicine expert, and can describe your adrenals are on fire.
Yeah.
So then you go on this voyage of self-discovery, effectively.
Yeah, it's mega, and a lot of people are involved in that. all different, specialists from, foragers to, reflexologists to, deep tissue massage, and lots of different people to sort of bring me back up to, thriving. And it was a long road. It was like a 6-month period. But what I found is just Mother Nature. It was almost like a reconnection, which, doing my corporate role, from when I was young, you miss all of that. So it was, for the first time, it was an opportunity to really sort of get back to the natural rhythm of Mother Nature. And yeah, I suppose it was so vast in, improving what I was experiencing, that it had me. So I had to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and at this stage, you're obviously alcohol free, caffeine free, you're basically free of everything.
Yeah,
just treating your body really holistically, healthily, with Mother Nature, effectively, to heal yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you start to pop out the other side of that, it's like, oh, what was missing? That, in many ways, that I think led to the inspiration for where we're going to drift towards.
Yeah, in terms of what was missing, I think for me, it was when I went down that road. It was almost the nourishment that I found so interesting, and that I really thought that was the essence that healed me. Coming off all the alcohol, caffeine, all the stimulants, sugar, anything synthetic. And it was interesting because I tried a lot of things that were branded as healthy, but upon consuming them, I got my symptoms back. Heart palpitations. I was getting a lot of sort of pressure around my head. I was getting really hot, then really cold. There was lots of like crazy symptoms I was experiencing through taking these so-called healthy products. It was really odd. So the bits that really spoke to me were things that are just sort of from the ground. So mushrooms, seaweed, plants, botanicals, trees, roots, bark of trees, berries of trees, all just natural things that I didn't even know they were a thing to consume. And that really, really spoke to me, and it just brought me back up to this, level of health, vibrancy, vibration, energy. I started to get clarity of mind, start to sleep really well. So look to the market for other products that might support my new way of life, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I guess lots of things labelled and marketed in such a way that they're good for you, but as you said, on consuming them, actually instantly you could feel, I guess, with that purity of body, that you really notice actually the negative impact of those so-called healthy things.
100%. So I couldn't find anything, and I've got asked a team in 3 different continents to go out on my behalf and find some good products. And they found a load of products, but nothing passed the test. And I mean nothing on a 3-month recce. Yeah.
And it's no wonder, in many ways, so many of us are so broken, like holistically, and our health, mental well-being, physical well-being. Most of the products that are pushed upon us are terrible for us, even the ones that are meant to be healthy. Or
it's crazy.
We get walloped with alcohol advertising, or energy drink advertising, or so-called health products that are not actually healthy. Like the poor consumer, we're so lost, and we're so disconnected as well. And even when you was describing Mother Nature there, it was just, for me, it was like delicious. I just wanted to be a part of that. The bark, the trees, I think we all do. And then when you was describing your corporate career, it sounded like mine, that type of career is so disconnected. It couldn't be more disconnected, could it?
No.
My life, getting on the train from here every day, trudging down to the station, into the office when it was dark, home when it was dark, in an office environment with no plants, no trees, no nothing, then drinking too much and eating rubbish food. It's no wonder people are just so unhappy. We're so disconnected, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I've got to really thank you. I mean, I've been drifting this way for a long while, but I've really got to thank you for over the last year or so since our adventure into this. I'm so more connected to Mother Nature now than I've ever been. And I will
Amazing.
never, ever let that go. That will never, ever, ever disappear out of my life.
Love it.
It just won't. And I think I've realised, as you've done, that actually the secret to health and vibrancy and energy and flourishing is Mother Nature. Being outside in light, it's sea, it's grass, it's trees, it's real quality nourishment.
100%.
And that's what led you on this adventure to create. Well, tell us about that. I want you to say it.
Yeah. So it was when we came back empty-handed from any sort of decent products, and we gave a sort of fairly prescribed list of the things that we're after, and there was a few cool boutique-y sort of products, but nothing really in the mainstream. And it was just such a head scratcher. Like, and remember, this was just to help me initially, so it's just some really cool product, and there was nothing there, and then that sort of led me to looking at the market more around sort of traditional sort of health drinks, traditional energy drinks, sponsoring a lot of the so-called
healthiest people on our planet, right? The elite performers in sport, and is consistently sponsored by energy drink brands, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. So I was lucky because I went back into my network from corporate, because I used to sell into a lot of the high performance teams, F1 teams, sporting organisations, sporting clubs, and just did a bit of due diligence and a bit of research. You're sponsored by this big brand. Are your athletes and players and team members actually consuming this? And what I found out was no, they're not. Not only are they not consuming it, they're contractually banned from consuming it. And I was just like, this is mental. You've got a product there's nothing in the market that's decent, and then you've got all these sporting clubs and high performance elite athletes who are contracted to a brand that they're not actually consuming,
but equally they're idolized. So
exactly.
The kids and guys and girls in the street are all under the impression that, all right, this is it's the same gig as alcohol, isn't it? Like, think about that, like the way these things are marketed so heavily. You think that everyone that you idolise as a sporting athlete really is either drinking alcohol or something, and they're not. They're just not at that level anymore, are they? But
no, they're not.
The average person on the street, in many ways, is just getting smothered with that same messaging.
Yeah.
But actually, the people that they admire are just not doing those things anymore.
It's pure indoctrination. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is, like, even the Olympics, which is coming together every 4 years of the best sports people in the world. The brands that are all over that are alcohol brands. Yeah. The main sponsor of the next Olympics is one of the biggest alcohol brands on the planet.
Like, all of that, it just does not make any sense, does it? And that just goes to show, again, I think why so many of us are in the state that we're in, because we just get duped into certain behaviours that you have to step away from. And we're both really fortunate because we have been courageous enough to step away. And when you get outside that jar and you can read the label, it's like, what are we doing? None of it makes sense, does it? It cannot make sense. Why on earth have we got all these brand associations with athletes? And we know why the association's there, because it's really good for business.
Yeah.
But it's so incongruent with what is actually happening, be it on the pitch or in the sporting arena. And it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's totally nuts. And what I found is it's just pure commercial optics to drive sales of the next generation who are looking up to their idols, saying, I want that because so and so is drinking it. So and that was enough for me. That was enough to think, wow, imagine if you could have a product that's pure, that actually people could consume, and it'd be genuinely healthy. So all the things that I found through my recovery, like Mother Nature. If you could can that,
if you could can Mother Nature, there it is, right there.
Yeah,
that daily dose of wellness, as we say, of health,
Yeah,
as opposed to the very opposite?
exactly.
What would that be like?
Yeah, and then fast forward, what would that be like if you're, affiliated and associated with some of the biggest elite performing clubs? How nice that it would actually be legit.
Congruent with who they are and what they are.
So the clubs and the teams can...
Or individuals.
Be associated with a brand that they actually love and they actually consume. They encourage their family to consume it and their friends because it's good. And they can be genuine about the relationship to this brand. And Authentic Brew was born.
Authentic Brew. There it is.
Yeah.
So tell us what's in Authentic Brew. And I know there's been no compromise on this, and it's so distinct in the market for that reason. So give us the real in-depth lowdown as to what is in that daily dose of wellness in a can.
Yeah. So it's a world's first. So like we say, we're really pioneering, functional wellness here. So when I say a world's first, these ingredients have never been put in a can before. And I say can because we're launching with our functional energy drink.
Yeah.
There's other products in the pipeline. Supplements should follow shortly after. And there's other really cool products to come as well. But in our launch drink, there's 3 UK organic medicinal mushrooms. Medicinal mushrooms, which is reishi, chaga, and lion's mane.
And we had some of those at a recent event, didn't we?
Did.
They're incredible
stunning
to look at. These Mother Nature based, these mushrooms, this mycelium network. If you've ever studied mushrooms, they are the most fascinating things on the planet. And the mushrooms that we see are the flowers, aren't they?
That's right.
Of the network, and they take all these different shapes and sizes, and they offer all these they've been around since time began, effectively. That's why there's so much health associated. That's pure Mother Nature right there, and they are the wood wide web, as they say, that allows all the plants and trees to interact, develop, grow, pass nutrients between one another. It's so misunderstood or not understood. I think people just breeze past them. I've got a completely different relationship with mushrooms now when I see them growing.
That's cool.
It's cool, isn't it? And to see the different shapes and sizes, the different looks, incredible.
Fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that whole mycelium network blows me away. Like the subterraneans, it's invisible. It's all happening under the ground that nobody's aware of. And like you said, if a tree's got enough sustenance and it doesn't need for anything else. If it's got surplus, it sends it to the wide wood web, and it connects its surplus nutrients with other plants and beings that need it.
It's just so fascinating. I must admit, again, this has just opened me up to this whole new world that I didn't even know existed. And you've been really strong on this about including these mushrooms in the drink because they've got so many scientifically backed health benefits, and rightly so, right? Because it's pure Mother Nature. And just for anyone listening as well, because mushrooms, sometimes when you mention a mushroom and functional, I think people that maybe are new to this or don't understand can think, oh, is this going to be one of these magic mushrooms and I'm going to drink this authentic brew and I'm going to start hallucinating? Obviously that's a completely different type of mushroom that we're talking about,
and a different podcast. But there's no psychoactive properties in these, so they're not magic mushrooms. These are mushrooms that have been around for millions of years.
Literally millions of years.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of papers of scientific research that backs up the health benefits.
And what are some of the benefits? And we're just talking about the mushrooms here.
Vast sort of cognitive function, more calming, more mood enhancing. They support with blood pressure. They support with endocrine system. They support with neurology. They help with neuroplasticity. There's a lot of benefits. You could go on.
Reduce stress. It's just mega, isn't it? When you see the list and see the research, and I've looked a lot into it as part of this adventure. It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible,
but makes sense at the same time.
Makes sense. And what's so important for us is
I'm just going to pull one out here. Obviously,
if
anyone's watching this on the YouTube, there's the the can, and we'll share images around this, but
We're going to have a drink in a minute.
we are going to have a drink in a minute, but they look incredible. The branding's brilliant, I must admit. It's just got a completely different vibe to it. And in terms of, we'll stay with the ingredients actually before we get into the taste. So, yeah, what are some of the other ingredients that are really interesting? And again, this is where you've been really strong, and we were at a recent function which was about really the growing market that is functional style drinks. And you were highlighted within that, which was so impressive, alongside some of the biggest brands and names. They were really strong on the fact that you came to the table with these ingredients and said, I want these ingredients in that can. You need to try and make it happen. And I think that was really pioneering and courageous and brave, because they were like, we've never seen this before. That someone's actually turned up as a founder of one of these type of brands and drinks with a really clear understanding of the type of ingredients they want and the benefits they produce. Therefore, if we put them together, this thing's going to be powerful.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we did that. We did come with a sort of a preconceived ingredients list, and we went to, I think it was 7 of probably the world's most respected liquid development companies, and there was one that wanted to take on the project because it was a first.
And tell us about that organisation.
I don't know if I cannot say who they are, but I would say they're leading the charge in functional.
Can you say who they've worked with?
Yes, yeah, so they've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world. They helped develop Seedlip.
Yeah, which I think lots of our listeners would know Seedlip.
Yeah.
Ben Branson is in our documentary.
Yeah, legend.
Pioneering, absolute hero, in pioneering the alcohol-free space. And Seedlip now is a $12 billion brand.
Yeah, and growing.
And so the company that developed that drink...
Yeah, with Ben,
with Ben are developing and have developed our Authentic Brew, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it is pretty cool. And I think we've got some other interesting ideas to keep pushing that envelope and keep pushing innovation in the functional drinks market.
Yeah, to make it even healthier. That's another thing that you're bringing to the table, I think, which is really pioneering. It's like, well, we've got it this far. It's this incredible Mother Nature-based drink in a can, but can we make this thing even better? Can we pioneer technology or techniques or tools to constantly dial up the benefits instead of going the other way that most producers do, which is how can we lower the price and increase margin by cutting corners? We're actually trying to go the other way. Yeah. Which is like, no, let's try and get this to the most optimal place. What does that look like? Can we, again, pioneer new approaches? And that's happening as we speak.
It is happening as we speak. And, that's why we say we're the catalyst of change. I think every sector, every moment in time needs that person or brand or community or idea that really sparks change. And we believe that Authentic Brew is exactly that.
Yeah, it's incredible. So let's come back to some of the ingredients. Yeah. Because they're all novel. I'm sure people listening are have never, or maybe slightly heard of these things, not sure what they are, but they're in the can. So let's just list off some of the others and the type of things they do.
And I think just on that point, it's really important for us to be really transparent with ingredients, but also provenance. Where's it from? How's it ended up in the can? And there's no one really doing that in the drinks market. So apart from the mushrooms, we got seaweed, so sea herbs as well. So we use kelp, samphire, sea lettuce, and sea moss.
Love it. These are my favourites.
Yeah, which is really cool. We use something called fermented rhodiola, which is like a real ancient root, but we ferment it. Working with an incredible partner actually who brings that piece of the pie to the table
and sort of benefits these ingredients.
Phenomenal amount of benefit and proven, to reduce stress and support with sleep, reduce cholesterol, help with blood pressure.
We've got some trials going on at the moment. I mean, there's obviously been thousands and thousands of clinical papers, but we're actually now putting Authentic Brew through some of these trials as well, which is exciting.
We are, with some specific cohorts to get to see the results. But even that fermentation process on the rhodiola is just, it'll blow your mind, but it blows my mind. And that particular strain with that fermentation
that's in the can,
crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it starts to interact with your Yeah,
cognition. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so exciting and pioneering in many ways, but it just links back to the basics, doesn't it? Mother Nature.
And and we've got L-theanine in there, which is extract from leaves, which really supports with sort of calming, balance, harmony in the body. Really, it's like a sort of a bit of a cuddle to your central nervous system.
I like that.
And then we've got some hawthorn essence, so hawthorn tree, which is native to the UK, which is really cool. And then we've got some more common things that you might know. We use lemon peel and lemongrass, a little bit of grape as well. And yeah, it's all things to have great impact on body, biology, neurology. But you know about it. It's 1,000 milligrams of functional punch. And just to put that into context, I haven't taken any sort of medicine for the past probably 15 years, but those who do, like a little paracetamol, they're like 400 milligrams. If you have 2 of those, it's 800, and this has got 1,000 in, and of pure Mother Nature punch.
And that is an important point as well, isn't it? Because often, drinks or supplements will label some of these things, but they're in such micro doses, it's almost irrelevant. Whereas actually, I know when we've been through this with real experts, they're always really impressed by the dose is enough to actually make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gives you a nice warming lift, right? Which is really interesting. We did the taste test, which has been really cool, isn't it? We've been doing all these taste tests, and we got about 10 minutes into the taste testing. And do you remember?
Yeah,
I was
the first time.
Yeah. I didn't know that the functional pack was in there. That functional medicinal punch that you just mentioned. And I'm, playing around with all the tasting. I thought we were just doing the tasting bit. And I went, oh, actually, I'm just feeling really good right now. Just like that warm glow about me. And I was like, just out of interest, is there? And they were like, yeah, this has got the full functional punch in there. I was like, that is brilliant.
It is
for
brilliant.
me, because it was just that lovely sensation of there was a physiological change within me as well, which was unexpected because I didn't think it was in there, but also really reassuring that actually, right, this is a cool. Yeah. And I felt great on it. And my sleep score
tell us about that.
Was a 97 because we also we'll check the sleep score. That was pretty cool as well.
It is pretty cool. That's happened a few times with you. You've had your highest.
Literally, I've had those real upper 90s and we're going to put probably some research around that as well, because a lot of the ingredients support optimal sleep. And a couple of bits that I just want to clear off as well. The ingredients, where we've been getting those from as well. Some of the really interesting stories around that from the mushrooms.
Amazing. So working with some amazing partners who are pioneers in their own field. Literally for the mushrooms, they're in a field. And probably the only organic mushroom farmer in the UK for these certain strains. Partner called Bristol Fungarium, who are doing some amazing
great
work.
Name, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing team.
They're cool people, aren't they? Yeah, really
very cool. Lovely, honest, genuine, just love for mushrooms, and love for community. They're all about sort of regeneration and a lot of love comes out of their farm.
And is wonderful about this whole experience that you've had and that I've been part of now as well, that because of the nature of what it is that we're trying to achieve with this, it's like the doors have just opened.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, oh no, we get this. This is what we want. We'll help you. We'll introduce. They get what we're trying to do, something genuine to add value to people's lives rather than cut corners and just, make some money. It's the very opposite of that. And I think that's just opening all of the doors to so many, this mycelium network that just keeps opening new opportunities.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think we've been really fortunate with Authentic Brew, during our development, that when people hear the story, that they hear we're trying to be the catalyst of change. Everyone knows about the current marketplace. It's just full of compromise. When you're trying to do something a little bit different without the compromises. And then, we talk about the foundation that we've set up, that 25% of our net profit goes to rewilding people and places.
Well, I just want to come in there because that's really, really important to me. And this is, I think, really important for anyone listening. That's the reason I got involved. you came to me with this proposal, and actually it's behind you. We can't quite see it, but it's sort of staring at me. I can see the bit that it says, and I'll tell you exactly what it says for anyone listening. That is my infographic that I put on the wall, and I created about 6 years ago, and I just put all my BHAG goals on there, big, hairy, audacious goals. At that time, I was still running my brokerage. So one of my goals was, do what I love full time. Doing that now. Start a podcast. Doing that now. Write a book. Done that. TED Talk. Literally all of these goals have come true. Then I put some really, really massive ones on there. And one of them was plant 10 million trees. And this was my really uneducated way of trying to do something around climate change. I've got young daughters, and I remember sitting, this was again 4 or 5 years ago, my youngest, who was about 12 or 13 at the time, and she was getting really upset. Just seen something on the TV about climate change. It was very much in that space of, Dad, is this planet going to be here for me and my children? And I had a proper super dad moment. And I was like, don't you worry, I'm going to do something about it. And I didn't know what I was going to do about it. And again, my uneducated guess was, I'm going to try somehow to plant 10 million trees, right? Sequester carbon and all those wonderful things. So I put it in that infographic. I put it in my big, hairy, audacious goals and left it like I do with some of these. Then you come along and offer me this idea around the concept, and already I'm in love with it. And then the bit that sold me, and I was like, I have to be a part of this, was the concept of the foundation. So 25% of all net profit will go to rewilding people and places. So effectively doing good in the world, and that could be from partnerships with, and we're in talks with these type of things already, won't say names, but organisations that have the power and potential to plant 10 million trees, for example. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. And if you run the maths on something like these, this industry as such, a relatively successful brand, which hopefully we will be, and very much more, that 25% could do unbelievable good in the world. Yeah. And I want to be a part of something like that. And I hope the consumer as well thinks, hold on, this is something I can consume that's not only good for me and my family, our daily dose of wellness, but actually I can then see the good that this brand is going and doing in the world. As someone that's probably a bit frustrated about climate change and these things, don't know where to begin, actually you can start by being a part of this community, because this is way bigger than a drink. Again, why I'm involved. Yeah. So give me your sort of side of that, and then the community element as well. Yeah, no, it's true. And I think I remember having that conversation with you, that you just loved the idea, loved the market positioning. There was nothing else like it. And then the foundation bit, which is massively close to my heart, and I think the bit that you went, right, let's make this happen. And when you wanted to get behind the foundation, I think that sparked a lot more of ideas. And I think we want to be the market leader in the functional drink space. I think that's clear. But the only reason for that is we want to be able to fund the foundation and do some amazing projects around the world. And like you said, we're speaking to some of the leaders in biodiversity, in restoration, for some amazing projects to really move the dial on helping people and places to naturally thrive, which is the mission. The rewilding, exactly that, coming back to this beautiful mother nature that is all around us. And then with that, there'll be community as well. The community's key. So that's our community is called the Authentic Brew Crew. So you come and be a part of that, and just be a part of the movement. And that is, I would say, it's the heartbeat of everything that Authentic Brew are about, is building that community, being connected, with a shared purpose. That mycelium network within the community, that together, the power of, filling yourself up with this Mother Nature-based nourishment, the magnitude of that then to fund the fund and then see that good in the world. I think that's going to be, that for me is the most exciting bit that's just starting to unfold. And just so I don't forget it, you can find all that at authenticbrew.com. www.authenticbrew.com. I would say step one is go to the website and just have a look around, but join the Authentic Brew Crew, because when you're in there you get access to things that is not
sort of in the public domain.
Plus, you can see all the ingredients and really dig
Yeah.
into that should you wish to, need to, and become part of it with us, right?
Yeah.
Go and change the world together.
Yeah, and we're doing some amazing, really exclusive, actually, ABC only events where these are face-to-face events in some amazing venues with some incredible people.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff we can't talk about just yet, but wait till this comes rolling through. I think people will be endlessly impressed to be part of it and know that this is a real thing that can do good in the world.
And I would say money can't buy events like that. Like you couldn't get a band of people together and say, right, let's all put in X and do this event. These are real exclusive events for Authentic Brew in our community, so they're going to be really, really cool.
I'm going to have a quick sip.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So if you're listening to this, you can probably hear the can opening up, so we won't spend too long doing this because I appreciate that might not be the most interesting podcast. Cheers. We'll just have a little sip each. Because I wanted to try and describe the taste a little bit to you.
You always love the taste.
I absolutely love it. And clear something up as well. Authentic Brew has got nothing to do with alcohol-free alternatives. Whilst it's clearly alcohol-free and it's caffeine-free and it's sugar-free and all the other frees that you can possibly think of, it is a really unique taste. It's almost like it's got a sort of subtle gingery vibe, sweet, sour. It's just delicious. You almost need to taste it to know what I'm banging on about. Is the truth of it. It's very difficult to describe at the can, but and trust me, it's absolutely delicious. And I think that's one of the most powerful things, right? Because when Mike came to me with the ingredients list, I was like, well, how on earth are you going to get that to taste nice? But it tastes unbelievable. I think its strongest point is its taste, let alone the fact that it contains this incredible functional health punch, as it were.
And you hit the nail on the head. I think when we came up with the concept, we said, forget the branding, forget the story, forget the foundation, forget the ingredients. We want someone blindfolded to have a taste of Authentic Brew and just go, wow, that is mega. And that's exactly what we've done. And we didn't want it to taste like anything else. Like, you can't say it tastes like cherry and mint, or it tastes like, lime and toffee, whatever the sort of the flavours of the month are. It tastes like Authentic Brew, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, and that's the uniqueness of it that I think people will be excited just to try it, to see what it's like, let alone the fact that you get that nice functional lift, as I described earlier, and also getting those ingredients into you.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's no surprise you have your highest sleep score when you're putting those pure ingredients into your body. It has incredible effects with biology and neurology, and it's a big cuddle from Mother Nature.
Big cuddle from Mother Nature.
But what's so cool is when I have it, I get like this lift of sort of excitement, but it's sort of controlled. It's really weird to describe. So you just get a lift in sort of mood and just general upbeatness, but you're really sort of calm and controlled and in balance. Yeah. And then like you, I sleep like a baby.
It's sort of a mellow energy to it. It's very difficult to describe. Again, almost you have to have that lived experience of it. But equally, it's that taste and goodness coming together.
Yeah.
Which we both love, and it's so important to us. And the adventure really now is to try and share this with as many people as we possibly can through the ABC, to grow this to such a point that we can do lots of good in the world.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it's about, with something that we can really firmly stand behind it. So in terms of just if people want to actually consume this, right, this is only, by the time this podcast goes out, we're probably just about launched, I would say.
Yeah.
So what is the process of that? How's that going to look for people?
Good question. So we're focused on two things. So one's building that community. So that's all done via our website. So www.authenticbrew.com.
Yeah.
Join the crew, and then we are selling these D2C, so direct to consumer, or like as we say, direct to community. So you go online, you choose all your bundles. You can do one-offs. So, no ties, or you can subscribe and get a monthly drop of whatever you want to, wherever you want.
Because it's like a daily, the concept isn't it? Like a daily drink, effectively. Yeah. What is that? What's the pricing of that?
So the pricing for a single can's equivalent to a price of a cup of coffee when you're out. So about £4.30 it will be once you've subscribed per can.
Yeah.
As you go up, so if you want, say, 60 cans a month, so that's 2 cans a day, the price comes down a little bit.
Yeah, because we envisage families, especially for those that are the household purchasers, to have these in the house, and then it might stop, especially some of the kids, dads, mums, wherever it is, turning towards some of the more traditionally out there types of drinks that are not particularly good for them.
Absolutely. And we've had, so when we've been doing our testing, like up to 4 cans a day, people were enjoying and seeing the real benefits.
Yeah, it's got that more it's quite to it. And then on that pricing, it's funny that Tara and I were talking about this just recently. I was telling you off air that we have this weird thing around certain pricing, don't we? Especially those that have been in the alcohol space before, I consumed alcohol, that for years we'd almost discount alcohol, but we'd be really reflective around other pricing. So this still happens. Tara came home with this big bag of nuts, right? So I think it's like 500 grams of nuts from Marks and Spencer's. I like, right, there's real nourishment for me on my porridge every day type of thing. It's gone up to £12. We both went, £12. And
for a bag of nuts.
For a bag of nuts. Tara went, yeah, but hold on. Like, it's 13 years almost since you had a drink. How much is the price of a pint? So I've got no idea, right? So I just Googled how much is the price of a pint. Let's just say it's about £7-8 in certain London-y type places. Glass of wine, similar kind of gig. So both Tara and I just cracked up. We were like, that's a pint and a half. A pint and a half, which is full of, and I'm going to go off on one because I like to, carcinogens that takes away your time, your energy, your life force, that you would pay for and completely discount that price. That doesn't count, but you'd query a bag of nuts that's unbelievably good for you. And I think we do the same with coffee, with maybe Authentic Brew. It might be like £4. Maybe that's a lot to spend on. Yet the same conversation, 5 minutes later, you could be sat at lunch and someone says, do you want a glass of wine? Oh yeah, I'll have one of those. Yeah. And it's £12, £20. And we completely discount all those spends. So I think a really good way to always look at your health, and I've done this brilliantly, I must say, I reckon I've saved close to £100,000. And that's not an exaggeration over the last 12, 13 years. I've reinvested all of that. Every penny of that's gone into training, development, health. Like, why not offset that? So I think a brilliant mindset to have when it comes to these type of things, or your health in general. There's no price on your health, right? Your health is your wealth, fact. But it's to think, what is that versus my usual drink? If you know what I mean. If your usual tipple's a glass of wine, what's that costing you to go into? I'm telling you now, in a restaurant, that's costing you £15, £20 for one of those.
It is.
A thimble of it.
Yeah.
That does you no good. There's a carcinogen. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Versus an authentic, or whatever it is, nuts or authentics. I think it's good just to have that reality check of, I price everything by alcohol. That's my new approach. It's like, right, well, I'm lifting that all day long, because I would have had 5 pints, 6 pints, and just discount that and then queried me nuts. Never again.
That's just a very good point. And I think, it's like the cup of coffee. Nobody bats an eyelid about spending, £4.50 on a coffee when you're out and about. So we've come to be a similar price point to
parity,
that.
And I think it's that mindset of like a daily dose of, goodness as such, that I'm getting that nice little lift come through.
Me too. I'm feeling
nice,
it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
And warm,
it's nice, and it's powered by Mother Nature. Yeah. It's like what's not to love?
Yeah, which I think, and there, that mixed in with some lovely like placebo and great connection, but there's a real like coming togetherness of this, just that mellow calm that comes through, which I absolutely love.
100%, you're right. Direct to consumer. So you go online, you choose your bundles, and you can just pay as you go, or you can subscribe. I think there's a slight saving for subscriptions.
Yeah,
and there's lots of different bundles for different households. There might be 6 in the house that want 2 cans every day. So we've got sort of custom bundles for that, but also into big corporate. So we're shipping direct to organisations who might want to fuel their sales teams in the right way, or maybe just for some clients.
Potentially sporting clubs.
Yeah, we got a lot. There's
mega
lots
conversations going on, and some mega hotel chains and brands potentially down the line. Like this is going to get exciting. I think it'll also be exciting for those that are part of the Authentic Brew Crew to see those type of things happen, right? Because you're going to feel connected to something that making a difference.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've got some of the most exclusive hotel chains in the world who are acquiring Authentic Brew's product, which is cool because it aligns to vision and values. And I think we're really fierce in that sector. Just in terms of we're only going to work with people who we're a tight fit with.
But I think that's also opening doors, isn't it? Because there's so many people that are misaligned with the opportunities that are presented to them. So now Authentic's coming along and they're like, actually, this is aligned. This is what I've been waiting for. And we've had so many of those conversations, people saying, this is what I have been waiting for. I want to be part of it. I want to promote this. I want to open doors for you. And that's what continues to happen. And, I just wanted to say to you out loud as well, thank you for having the courage to put this together and put it out into the world. And, you've been working incredibly hard, in truth, to get this to this point. It's going to be exciting to see what happens over the coming weeks, months, years.
Yeah.
I'm sort of buzzed to see what we can go and do in the world and all the people that we can help in the world and make a difference.
Oh, thanks for those kind words, Andy. And you've been a massive influence, to let me have the space to reflect. And sometimes you need that to understand what's coming next. We didn't foresee the burnout, the big flat on the back for a while, but the world works in very mysterious ways, and that's exactly what I needed. So it's very exciting. There's lots of interesting stuff happening, and even the team members. We've got Laura Crane, who's on our team, who's the first British woman in history to qualify for the World Surfing Champs in Nazaré.
God, Laura, I didn't know if we could talk about Laura, so that's brilliant. I just want to talk about Laura
she's
for a
part
moment.
of our team.
She's unbelievable. Check out Laura Crane. She's this incredible woman, young woman, who is an amazing athlete, like big wave surfer at Nazaré. If you don't know what Nazaré is, you've got to check it out. Check out the 100-foot wave. And actually Laura's got on YouTube, she's got a whole sequence on the 100-foot wave. Hopefully we're going to get to go there. This has been on my list.
We're going there.
And this is where I love the Mycelium Network and I love all this. I've been interested in Nazaré for years. So when Laura came on board, I was like, this is another gift. I'm going to get to go to Nazaré and be in and around like one of the greatest surfers in Nazaré, who's now part of Authentic Brew.
Yeah.
How cool off the charts is that? Like, I just get such a buzz off this. I said to you before we came in, I've just been watching reruns of the 100-foot wave. Like, there's a bit of me that wants to be a surfer.
Me too. Who doesn't want to be a surfer?
It's the coolest profession, isn't it? Like, surfing is just cool. There's just no two ways about it.
It is cool. And I'll tell you what I love about the surfing community as well is just the passion as well for Mother Nature. It's just at one with, the ocean. And there's a lot of people in the surfing community who do a lot for sort of regeneration in terms of giving back. And Laura's one of those. She's a massive advocate of the rewilding element to Authentic Brew. So, and it's exciting. There's a lot of people within the surf community now wanting to work with us and do some really cool things. We're doing some trials specifically for the surfing community.
So trials of drinking Authentic Brew, and does it improve surfing effectively, that sporting ability to surf. But again, it goes back to that point. This is aligned with that community because they're aligned to Mother Nature.
Exactly.
And a lot of the opportunities they get offered are misaligned.
Yeah. And if you look at surfing and quite a lot of those action sports, there's a few brands that always turn up that are not doing that much good to the consumers within those communities. So, it'd be nice to see. I mean, and I think that would be one of those lovely goals down the line, wouldn't it? That Authentic Brew will be able to sponsor and be part of many of these sporting communities in a way that they're aligned with, or environmental communities and organisations that are aligned with the values and messaging. And I think, in many ways, the world's been waiting a little bit for this. I think we've been so misaligned for too long. I think people are waking up. And certain communities, such as surfing, they're way ahead of the game in terms of their awareness. Definitely.
They just haven't had necessarily the options. until now, maybe. So it's proper exciting.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
really exciting. And like we said, during this podcast, seeing the big alcohol brands, sponsoring the Olympics and these big elite sporting events, we're progressing now as a nation, globally, that I think we're waking up. The consciousness is shifting, and I think people are questioning now these brands and are they actually good for us? What's the positive side of interacting with these brands? And I think that's actually diminishing. So there's certainly a place for Authentic Brew. Well, on our vision board, we'll be sponsoring the Olympics and being part of big sporting events in the not too distant future.
F1, we've got to get into F1.
Yeah.
That would be my little dream right there. Although I'm ticking off.
Called it. Write it on your.
Yeah, I'll get it on there. But I've already ticked off so many of those things already. I feel so fortunate, but that's definitely going up there. Lando. Let's get cool. Lando.
Yeah, nice.
A bit of authentic. You'll love that. Mike's been an absolute pleasure, though. This will be the first of many. Our relationship has blossomed to such a point that we're involved in this now. And what an adventure that's going to be over the coming weeks, months, and years. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for Authentic Brew as a brand and all the good we can do in the world.
Mega. Andy, it's been an absolute privilege to have a chat with you today. Yeah. Inviting me to your lovely podcast studio to have a chat. Yes, it's a cracker. Yeah. And for all your help over the years to get to this point. Yeah. And now we're doing something really really revolutionary together. And I'm excited to see us achieve our mission objectives.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To Authentic Brew. Let's do this.
It's happening.
Wasn't that a cracking conversations? And don't forget, if you want to come and join this mission with us, change the world whilst you nourish your body full of health and wellness, go to authenticbrew.com and please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more episodes such as these, and please share far and wide. All right, until next time, let's do this. Your coach, Andy.